Hey everybody, this is Jose here. So we are about to start in just a few seconds, around 30 seconds or so. So this will be a sound check. Please go ahead and confirm with a quick message on the chat box that you hear my voice. A quick hello would do, just a nice message, that would be great. And then we will begin. I see your question as well, dear. I'll take care of answering that just as we start the session, okay? That's an easy one, okay? Very good. Thank you so much, Mickey. Nice to see that sound is good. So we are ready to go, okay? Good, perfect. Let's go for it. So countdown just reached 0. So let's close everything we don't need. Let's maximize the introduction slide so we can have a proper official launch for the session. And we go for it, okay? So welcome everybody. Today is September 17, 2019. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide. And today I am guiding you in the world of intraday trading. So we are getting together today for short-term purposes. We will be combining trades identified and executed with Forex and also futures markets. We'll be using a different set of timeframes. We'll be using all our tools, AutoClimate, to know if we should be a buyer or a seller or do nothing. And then AutoUFOs to define more precisely the price at which you want to buy and the price at which you want to sell, so we can come up with a specific trade plan and we'll execute that together. Okay, so be ready. Many of you, of course, you know how this works. Some of you may be new to the session, so just be ready to work with me. We work as a team in these sessions. And if the trades are uncomfortable to you, of course, you can go ahead and execute those trades with paper money, or if you choose to use real capital, which of course that's your choice, you also need to define your size, okay? So before we start, we have a disclaimer. So the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through a demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our products. And this takes care of the introduction. So here I am in TradeStation using our red screen workspace where we have all those different opportunities ready to be planned and to be executed, okay? Yeah, before though, I know that there are some questions. So let me take a look at the chat box very quickly. Yeah, so first question has to do with the guides. So let me bring the place where you would want to find the guides. And by the way, how are you, Bojan? Pleasure to see you here with us. Still in Italy, my friend, or you are back? And so Bojan actually gave you one option on how to get the guide, but I want to show you another one as well, so you guys know where to look for it in case you have to anytime in the future as well. Okay, so I'm just loading a web page on my other computer screen, and I will be moving the web browser as I'm doing right now into the main screen. Okay, so here on the top we have guides, okay, and you know you got TradeStation guides and TradingView guides. So this is probably even a faster way to get the guides compared to getting on in the App Store, okay, and they're here. So just click guides, select TradeStation, and when the new page loads, you just scroll down, and here are your guys for AutoUFO and also for AutoClimate. You just click download, and that's it. Okay. Oh, you're in Spain, my friend. You're in Mallorca. Oh, well, very good. Very, very nice. Okay. I recommend you to get the ferry to hit both Ibiza and also Menorca if you have the time. You know, with very little time, you have these very fast boats that can take you from island to island, and it's a lot of fun, okay? Especially at this time of the year. Ibiza is lovely because most of the crazy people are gone. So you can explore such a beautiful island in a calm manner. But anyway, let's go back to trading. So anyway, so we have our TradeStation here. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we have our TradeStation here, okay, and as always, we're gonna be looking at the red screen to plan, identify our trades first, and then plan those trades. So we've been using this in recent times, and really, I believe, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's made a pretty important difference when it comes to saving time planning trades. You just saw that, you know, we just had a flashing golden color light on natural gas in the 60-minute. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and bring you know what, I'm noticing that there is an issue with my TradeStation on my end. So before we get in any sort of trouble, please just give me 1 second. I just want to kill TradeStation and relaunch it, because I'm under the impression that some process may have got hung or something like that. And again, instead of having a slow TradeStation or ending up having TradeStation freeze on us in the middle of a trade, I would feel much better restarting it, which is something that sometimes happen with different applications that normally are Windows based. These sometimes happen, so I just want to be on the safe side. Okay, very good. So logging in, and we should be good in a second. We should be good to go. Okay, so loading. Okay, so again, I was saying that we're going to be using AutoClimate. Dirk, you were making a comment at the beginning that you are getting up to speed with AutoClimate. So again, the purpose for that tool is to answer an important question, which is, should you be a buyer, should you be a seller, or should you not even trade? Okay, that's a very important question to be answered. And that's the job of AutoClimate. And then the beauty is that we can also run AutoClimate in red screens, as you have seen a second ago. And therefore, this produces an additional benefit, which is the fact that now you are scanning many markets in only one screen, and now you get your alerts that tell you which charts to open to plan a trade, meaning that those charts are meeting our conditions when it comes to our trading rules. And not only they are meeting our conditions, on top of that, price is close to an entry, and statistically speaking, that climate is likely to last instead of likely to end, which is the meaning of the words hopeful and sensible. Okay, so we have a sensible opportunity that was flashing golden a second ago with natural gas. To be honest, I'm not sure why it was flashing golden. Maybe I didn't see it right, because it seems that we are quite far from the ideal price, which is the average. We are 1.49 ATRs away from the average, so we are quite far from a good entry. And as you can see with Japanese yen, we do have a valid entry, okay, near sensible short. So we could certainly go ahead and plan a trade with the Japanese yen, but careful, because the gray box here mean that the climate is not confirmed. So even though we do have a climate and we do have a potential entry, the probability for this trade is less than other trades, given the fact that the climate is not confirmed. So what I'll do is I'll wait, 1 or 2 candles, which in the 60-minute time frame may not happen during the session, because it's obviously every 1 hour. And when the next candle, this gray box becomes red, then it would be time to plan a trade. At this moment in time, we're not gonna do it, okay? But in any case, since I'm gonna wait 7 minutes until the next update in the 15-minute time frames, isn't it? Because it's 9:07 right now in New York. So 9:15 we'll have an update on the common time frame, and therefore all these, all this panel, all this table in the red screen will also update. So what I want to do as well is that I want to talk about something that, to be honest, is quite nice that we are doing the session live today, because it's something, let's call it rare. Okay, rare. So I want to talk about rollover very quickly, and to do that, I'm gonna get into a bar chart. Some time ago we did a sharpening session on futures, and I got you introduced to this website, bar chart. I'm sure some of you knew it already. And one of the things I said about bar chart is that it's quite cool, because by looking at it, you can quickly see which is the expiration month that you should be using when it comes to selecting contracts. So for example, if I look at the currencies and I look, for example, at the euro forex, the euro spot, the euro futures. So when I click euro FX, okay, here on the top it says that Z is the expiration month that you should be using. Okay, Z, of course, that would be British English, Z if I was to pronounce it with American English. Okay, so that would be the letter that refers to the expiration month. And I'm pointing at this because, number one, the last time that we were trading together, we were using the U contract, okay? And notice how with the currencies, okay, this website already shows that most of the volume have moved into the Z, moving away from the prior expiration, okay? So we should be dealing with the Z instead of the U like we have been doing for a while. So this is one comment I wanted to do, that those contracts, currency futures, equities, even treasuries, they have expiration dates every 3 months, so we don't find ourselves too often looking at contract rollovers and changing the letter of the contract. But today we are finding ourselves doing this change with the currencies. But that's not too surprising, because the expiration date, it's always the third Friday of the month, every 3 months in the case of the currencies, and that would be on the 20. Okay, so it's at the end of this week, and therefore probably you were expecting this to happen during this week, and you were ready already to change the letter. So probably this didn't catch you by surprise. But what's more interesting though is what's happening with the S&P. Okay, and by the way, we have a trade a second ago. Here we go. It's just flashing right here. Trade to plan on the S&P. Okay, red, and instead of gray we got red. So it's confirmed. Okay, so I'm gonna be using this. I'm going to be using the S&P workspace right now to plan on a trade. Hopefully we have a trade that we can plan. Okay, but before I do that, okay, and this is what's very interesting today. This is what I'm about to show you is actually rare. Okay, so what's very interesting today is that when you think about how indices do rollover, typically, the rule of thumb that the world follows is that the Thursday prior to the third Friday of the month, this is when the rollover takes place in the case of indices. And, the third Friday of the month happens to be this Friday, okay? But, when you look at bar chart, for example, it's still showing that U is the right contract to be traded. Okay, I'll do that at a different time. It's still showing that the U is the contract to be traded, where the reality is that I would guess that what's going to happen is that tomorrow this website will show that the Z contract is the right to be traded, but it doesn't show today yet. But, knowing that we are in the third week of the month where the rollover takes place for most of the markets, you should certainly be looking already into volume data and open interest data, and notice how the Z, okay, it's already providing larger figures compared to the U. So what I'm going to do, and that's the reason why I'm showing you this, which again, it's quite unique that we have the opportunity to do this together today, is that what I'm going to do is I'm not going to be using the U in my trades today. Even though this website still suggests to use the U, I'm going to move already to the Z. Okay, I'm going to already move to the Z. Just to make sure I am benefiting from that liquidity that is already moving into the next expiration month. Okay, so I'm adding at ESZ19, and I am getting a chart which obviously is going to be very, very similar. But now when I execute my trades in the matrix, of course, the trades are going to be executed on the Z instead of the U. Okay, and again, if you have been trading futures for a while, what I just explained is not magic or anything like that. Okay, but in many cases, it's easy to get distracted and you could miss it, especially if you were double checking some sort of a website or some sort of a radar screen you may have that you watch for the rollover alerts. Like TradeStation will alert you when there is rollover, but let me tell you that probably that alert is coming tomorrow, because tomorrow TradeStation will realize, hey, there was more volume yesterday, so let's move to the Z. Okay, and the point is that we are about to start the session and we can see that already happening. Okay, so that's why I wanted to give you this explanation, even though normally this would be a theoretical explanation done in the sharpening sessions, but since it's happening live, so I thought of sharing this with you. Okay, Dirk, I just type at ES into a TradeStation chart and it'll tell me which contract is the front month. Yes, exactly. TradeStation is very cool as well because of those features, okay? But again, I did wanted to show you just to make everybody more aware. And Dirk, in your case, I know that you are an experienced trader, so it's expected, if you wish, that you knew that. But for other traders, maybe they were not aware of the reason why the rollover is taking place. And I think it's quite visual to see this change in volume already, even before the market is opening, because the market hasn't opened yet, and you can already see that happening, okay? Anyway, so this explanation took me to 9:15, okay, which is when we have a new update on the climate, okay? And even though the climate in the radar screen is analyzing the potential opportunities real time, every time you have an update on the time frame selected, of course, new opportunities may arise. As you can see, we also have a new flashing opportunity, which is near and sensible, most importantly sensible, with the NASDAQ. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open a NASDAQ workspace. So NQ, and by the way, since I moved the contract of the S&P to the Z, I'm also gonna move it for the NASDAQ. Okay, I'll do a confirmation very quick, but I would be, pretty confident that if more volume is already kicking in the S&P, the same thing should be happening as well in the NASDAQ. So again, we're gonna have a quick click here in the website. Notice that the NASDAQ, funnily enough, is already showing Z, which means that's probably rollover on the NASDAQ already started taking place yesterday. So the NASDAQ already shows as Z, but funnily enough, not in the S&P. Again, it's not 100% common to see what we are seeing today. Okay, so I'm glad when we have unique situations appear in front of us, because it gives me the opportunity to kind of explain what's happening, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys. So anyway, so loading the Z for the NASDAQ. Okay, so here's the Z, and we will now begin planning on those trades. Okay, so what do we have? So we have a down climate confirm, a thick dot first candle into the climate. When this climate goes down is 5 candles, okay, and this is the first one. So perfect time to identify this opportunity right at the beginning of a new climate. So if you're right, it's gonna likely be a very nicely profitable trade. And the average price is 78.69. So the idea is we need to find around, a little below 70, we need to find red UFOs. And unfortunately, at this moment in time, around 70, we got no UFOs in any of the 3 edge timeframes. Okay, not a big problem. We just need to wait. Okay, new UFOs will form. So maybe 5 minutes from now, we happen to have a beautiful UFO right there. Something looking like that. Okay, and we may have an opportunity. So at the moment, we just need to be watching it. Okay, and being ready to execute a trade if the opportunity arises. On the S&P, we have a similar situation where we have it's not as good as an opportunity, because we have 5 candles, 5 red dots into the climate, and when the S&P goes down, the climate tends to last 5 to 6 candles. Let's call it 6. So remember, we always add 50% more than 6 is 3, so that would be up to 9. So we would expect that this climate may expand 3 more candles. Okay. So we can still plan on a trade, but for us to do that, we will need to find red UFOs around 97. And 97 is where the price is right now when I froze the screen. And 97 happens to, just like the NASDAQ, we don't have any red UFO at this moment in time. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait to see what happens. Okay, and actually, if this green UFO happens to push that hard, we may have a change of climate right when the market opens, which is 12 minutes from now. But in the meantime, again, the climate we have is a down climate. It's good to anticipate what may happen so we are ready and we don't miss a trade. But at the same time, you don't wanna jump ahead of your methodology, and we're gonna respect the fact that the climate is down, at least for now. Okay, so good. So apart from those 2 flashing lights, okay, we also have now a confirmed climate on the yen, and we just got a flashing light as well. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and open the yen workspace. So I'll have 3 workspaces open. So I can look at what is it that the yen is providing me with. I mean, I saw something I didn't fully like, okay, which is, you can see it here. Let me show you, which is the fact that the 8-year spread is a negative number. So when you see a negative number, it means that price is on the other side of the average, which may mean that the climate is about to change. So notice how the climate is red, but the price is above the average, as I knew, as you could have seen yourself, just by observing this figure, the 8-year spread being negative. Okay, so you would know that it maybe is not the ideal time to plan on a trade. Okay, and similar to the S&P and the NASDAQ, you know, if the yen was to fall down, and in the process of falling down, it was to create some UFOs and then fall down more, and those UFOs were lining up with 9303, which is 9303 right here. Okay, and then the yen was to come back, then would be happy to take a trade short and write it down. Okay, so again, just like the S&P and the NASDAQ, we are waiting for that red UFO to form, lining up with the average, which could happen in very little amount of time, especially given the fact that in 10 minutes the market will open. Typically, those initial 10 minutes before the market opens should be slow. So I would not expect too much right now, but the moment the market opens, we better be ready, because we may have opportunities that define themselves very quickly in front of us. So what I'm going to do, since we don't have a trade to put in the system right now, what I'm going to do is to prepare myself for whatever happens. And since it looks like we are dealing with 3 markets right now, which is the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the yen, okay, and we'll move into spot forex later on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch my common time frames to the next common time frame, which is from 15 to 60 for the S&P. Okay, and I'm going to be looking at enabling my AutoUFOs. I'm going to be looking at where my targets could be if I was to go long, and where my targets could be if I was to go short. Okay, and if I was to do that, so my target above would be located at 3005.75. This would be my target above, which is really not too far away. And my target below, well, to be honest, my target below, we have seen this situation before. Okay, this is something that in one hand we welcome when the green UFO is so far away. It's something that in one hand we welcome. In the other hand, for intraday traders, okay, it's kind of killing your plan a little bit, because you know, you heard me say something you should never say as a trader, right? Which is, it's no way we should never start a sentence saying that. But you know, if that's okay, I'll do it, because I think you know, it's kind of English language in this case. So I will say that it's no way or very unlikely that we get there, okay, to 29.41 in one day. That would be a 50-point drop on the S&P. I mean, could that happen? Yes. Has it happened before? Yes. Is it likely to happen in one day? No. That's why I said no way. So when you have those targets that are so far out, typically what ends up happening is that you start trailing your stop, okay, and somewhere in the middle of the move, then you'll be out for a nice profit probably, but that's it, okay? Again, that's what we have. We are professional, we are mechanical, so we are not gonna invent or make up targets, okay? We are just gonna follow the process, and therefore I got my 2 values, 30.0575 as a selling target, 29.4125 as my short closing target, my buy target. It's 29.4125. Okay, so I got those values for the S&P while I'm waiting for those red UFOs to form. I'm gonna do the same for the NASDAQ, okay, and I'm making a note, kind of old school. I'm just using a piece of paper, guys, okay, so nothing fancy, but I'm just having it ready. So if I have to rush into placing an order, I'll have it ready, okay? So same thing, move to the common time frame, the next common time frame, which is 60 minutes on the NASDAQ. I'm gonna click on the red UFO. The red UFO on the NASDAQ is located at 79.0400. That would be my target in case it goes up. So the NASDAQ is providing a little bit more room for breathing. And on the bottom part, we have similar setup, you know, which makes sense, where our buy UFOs are located at 77.4825, and those will be my targets. for that trade. Okay, so back to the 15-minute time frame, disable auto UFOs. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same again for the yen. Okay, now the yen, careful, because with the yen, given the fact that it's a market with a little less liquidity, so with the yen we are using the common time frame 60, not 15, and therefore the time frame for us to pick the targets is going to be 240. Okay, 240. So I am doing the same now with the yen, finding my target located at 93, 0.93, 93.925. And on the buy side, so where are you, green UFO? Green UFO is right here. And that would be 0.9259.5. 92.595, got it right. So now I know where my targets are, okay? And this is gonna save me a lot of time for when the market opens in 5 minutes, okay? And I may have to run to plan my trades. So not to plan the trade because that was gonna be quick, but more to place the order in the system, okay? Now, notice how the yen has been going down. The average is 93.02. And we just had a new red UFO form that was not there before. So my question is, what's the bottom part of this UFO? Because we may have a trade, 93.025, 93.025. The average is 026, okay? So we have a trade, my friends. We do have a trade, okay? So let's enter the trade in the system. We are going to 93.025. So I'm using mechanically 2 contracts. Of course, in your case, calculate the right size that you will need in the trade. So 97.5, and I'll make it 98. That would be the buy stop. Okay, therefore, safety target would be 92.97. And we said target would be 92.59.5, 59.5. Which is going to be a little lower, 59.5 right there. Okay, so this is the trade. Okay, we have an order in the system, my friends. Hopefully this green UFO will bring price back up to our entry, and from there the climate and the on-field orders should take care of the rest. Okay, odds are in our favor. Now it's all about the whatever action those large market players are going to do, either canceling orders or adding new orders in the same direction or the opposite direction, and therefore we are exposed to whatever happens. Okay, but probabilities are on our side. We got risk under control, we got risk management in place with the stop, and also with the safety target is also a portion of risk management, and then we also have that final target to attempt maximizing the profits for the trade. Okay, so be nice to us, Mr. Yen. Come back to our entry, get us filled, and it will be nice. I love this timing, guys. You heard me say that so many times, isn't it? Getting filled right before the market opens. The market will open in 2.5 minutes from now. And I love that because then you get the push from the market open, which either gets you stopped out very quickly or gets you to the safety target very quickly. And I love that because if the trade is not going to work, I love to know that soon. And if the trade will work, I also love to remove the risk soon so I can add more trades in parallel and hopefully run 2-3 trades in parallel and ride them for a while, taking advantage of this initial push when the largest markets in the world, the US markets, begin trading in the morning hours, okay? So quick look at the NASDAQ and the S&P. I am guessing, and please give me a little feedback because I've been talking non-stop since we started and you guys have been quite quiet, which again, I understand you are placing the order, so I don't want to distract you much from that as well, but give me a little bit of feedback when you can, just so I know that you are following and you had the opportunity to place your own order as well, okay? I noticed that the S&P gave us a new red UFO, but unfortunately notice how this red UFO happens to be above the average. The average is 1997. We're actually trading above the average as well in the case of the S&P. So it's kind of looking like we may have a change of climate for the S&P and the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ looks quite pushy to the upside. Again, right at the market open, we may have a complete reversal of that. We never know, but that's what we have as we speak. Okay. So again, it seems that the one trade that is looking more like we're gonna get a feel soon is the one with the yen. Okay, so come on yen, we need you to move 2.5 ticks, okay, and we will be filled. Okay, 2 ticks away from entry now. No, still 2.5. So come on. Okay, come to us. We are waiting for you. We are welcoming you, my friend. Be nice to us, Mr. Yen. Okay, so I believe it's like now 2 ticks away from the entry. So we just need a little extra push. Market will be opening. That's it. Market just opened. So let's see if we can have a little bit of action. Come on, yen. Okay, yeah, 1 tick, 1 tick, 1 tick, 1 tick. Come on, get us filled. Come on, get us filled, my friend. Only 1 tick and we'll get the fill. Okay, well, we'll leave Mr. Yen, okay, because I need to go take a look at the other opportunities, okay. So we have a change of climate on the S&P, okay. We have a change of climate with the a change of climate on the S&P which is not confirmed, and a change of climate on the NASDAQ which is confirmed. And by the way, with the NASDAQ we have an average of 73, and we have an entry here at 72.5. Well, yeah, that's lined up with the average perfectly. Okay, so let's go for it. We have a trade on the NASDAQ. Okay, for the NASDAQ, I will enter this trade using the order bar. And for the NASDAQ, entry long to limit 1 stop. So we are gonna get in at 78.72.5. Stop. The stop is gonna be 65.5. Okay, 78.65.5. 78.65.5. The final target, I have it in my piece of paper. We are long, so the target is gonna be 79.04. And then my safety target, let's do this quickly with the calculator. It's going to be 72.5, 72.5 minus 72.5 minus 65.5. So we're talking about 7 points. Okay, so 7 points above 72. That's going to be 79.5. Okay, so 78, 79.5. And again, I'm a little bit rushing on all these simple calculations, but of course I need to put this trade in place because, you know, I could get filled very quickly and I don't want to miss the trade. So I got the trade on. Hopefully you guys were following. If not, you're going to see it on my matrix right now, so you will be able to replicate it. Okay. And you can see how I got entry, stop, and safety target 1, and then the final target it's much higher. Okay, so the trade is in. Quick look at the yen to see what's going on. Well, the yen, when 1 or 2 ticks away from our entry and already reached safety target, so the trade I believe is still valid. Yes, we still have a confirmed climate 93.02. Yeah, everything is still valid for the yen trade. So even though we miss it by a couple of ticks, we still have the UFO, actually a new UFO as well, form at this price level, and therefore we are good to go. Nothing to say about that. When it comes to the NASDAQ, it was coming down to our entry. Now it's reacting to a UFO. Hopefully that UFO will push it back down, so we get a fill, and then we'll get a nice breakout. Okay. So we are like 3 points away from entry. This could happen quite quickly, so I will leave my screen here in case you are mimicking my trade with entry at 72.5, stop 65.5, safety target 79.5, final target 904. Okay, so it helps you to look at the values I just pointed out on the chart. If you missed when I was typing the order earlier, this is where you want to look on my chart, so you know where my orders are, and therefore you know the parameters for the execution. Okay, so what else do we have? The yen doing its thing, the NASDAQ hopefully coming back to entry, the S&P is a non-confirmed climate, so I'm just gonna close this one for now. We don't need that one for now. And then I'm going back to read the screen to keep looking for more trades. Okay, guys? Hey, please let me know. Am I going too fast? Because, of course, I'm moving quite efficiently here, but I don't want to lose anyone. So if I'm going too fast, please let me know. Okay, lean hogs. Okay, so lean hogs may be an opportunity as well. So let's go ahead and open lean hogs. Okay, and again, if you're new to the session, today's session is not an slow pace education type of session. Today's session is a let's do it type of session. So if I'm going a little too fast for you, of course, you'll have the recording. You can review it later on. Okay, but of course, I am aware that I am moving quickly because obviously we are here to make some money, isn't it? So I am trying
Order filled.
Okay, I guess we got filled on the NASDAQ. We're in the NASDAQ. We just yeah. So we got filled on the NASDAQ. Okay, and now we can see price is moving. Yeah. So climate kicking in, the average kicking in, the on-fielders kicking in. Let's see if we can get to 79.5. That would be our safety target, and we can remove the risk of the trade. Okay, so in this trade with the NASDAQ, okay, I'm gonna stay here just for a little bit, just to give you instructions about the management. Okay, so I am now in time stop mode. So I am looking at the chart on the left, which is a 2-minute time frame. This is the first candle we got in. Okay, so if in 3 candles from now we haven't reached the safety target located at 79.5, then I will attempt to exit this trade for a break-even. Even though in this case, you can see a massive, some large institutions just came in, placing a massive pile of orders to sell. Notice that we just got a UFO in this, more or less in the same place where we got filled. And even though we had some reaction to our trade setup, as it almost always happens. In this case, we had a very, very powerful push in the opposite direction. We will likely change the climate in the next candle, okay? So, hey, this is a trade where we just got stopped out, okay? So, obviously, when that's happening, we are going to be pausing trades with the NASDAQ until the next common candle in the let me say that again. Next closing candle in the common time frame. So we have, like 8 minutes to go. Okay, 8 minutes to go. So I'll leave the chart here out of curiosity to see what happens later. I'm always curious when a trade stops me out to see if it was just a little bit of a tease of the market or if it was really a large institution. But in this case, I mean, you can see someone large just keep placing sell orders. Okay, so we are glad to be out of this trade, because the probability of this trade working out will be quite low. Okay, the yen trade setup is still okay, and then we were going to plan a trade on lean hogs. So let me double check, since we are talking about changes of contracts and expirations and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and check meets. I clicked on currencies. I don't know how I did that. I meant to click meets so I can check. Let me see. Why is it going to currencies? I don't want currencies. I just want. I'm not sure why it's looking at currencies. Anyway, so okay, so contract specifications. Oh, this is so funny. It just keeps switching to the currencies. I don't know why. So okay, so I'll pick the meat from the drop-down menu, and we are looking at lean hogs. Okay, just confirming again. This is a process which is important. We are looking at the Z contract for lean hogs. In this one, actually, since we have not used it for trades yet here in the session, I never had the opportunity to add the Z. Okay, let me try to type this slowly. Okay, so yeah, it seems that there is a lot of activity in the markets right now, a lot of UFOs are being processed, which is slowing down my computer. So interesting that is not allowing me to load the Z contract. Why is that? Yeah, Z is the one. So let me check volume. Yeah, Z is the biggest volume. So why is it not allowing me to input at LHZ19? Okay, I'm not sure why this is happening right now. Okay, so I'll have to look into this. Okay, and again, I don't want to waste our time, so I'll just close it, and I guess I'll look at this for the next session. Okay, this is a weird error with the Z contract. It should be okay. Okay, so the yen still doing its thing. Haven't got to our level. Look at this NASDAQ coming back above the average. What a teaser in this moment in time. Some large institution definitely played an interesting game there. But anyway, so what do we have? Nothing golden color in the futures markets at the moment. The only one was the lean hogs, but again, as I told you, I'm having an error with the symbol, so I'll pass on the lean hogs today. So therefore, we're gonna move into the forex markets and begin planning trades in forex. Okay, so trading view. Okay, let's maximize this window. Orlando, how are you, my friend? You went long the back month and crude oil. You got stopped out at plus 250. Okay, why did you use the back month, Orlando, instead of the front month? TradeStation is still using October as the front month for lean hogs. Okay, so then we need to talk to TradeStation. They should have changed that. Liquidity is on the Z now. So anyway, so let's begin our analysis of currencies. Here I got the setup with, let me rectify the time frames. This is not correct. So I need to have 4 hours for the common time frame, and I need to have 21 minutes for my UFOs for the edge time frame. Okay, so let's begin the analysis, okay, of the currencies. And again, I'm going to do it with the red screen. Okay, so we have an opportunity to plan on a 60-minute trade, common climate. We have a confirmed climate, okay, and we have a sensible opportunity to short the Kiwi, okay, but it has to be on the 60. I'm using the 240, so let me load my setup with the 60-minute time frame, which is here. Yeah, Orlando. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're okay. I know you are a disciplined trader using stops and everything, but just curious to know why you used the back month. Okay. So anyway, so we are looking at the Kiwi. So New Zealand dollar USD. Notice how I'm pointing at the 60-minute time from here, 8-minute time from above. Okay, and yeah. So the opportunity is here with a confirmed down climate, as you can see, one candle into the climate. The down climates normally take 5 to 6 candles, so it's a nice time when to begin. The problem is that price is above the average and we have no red UFOs. Okay, so the New Zealand dollar would not work for that type of setup. Okay, what about the euro in the 4-hour time frame? Well, problem is that we have a gray box, so it's not gonna work. So then I need to move into my minors, okay, which even though minor seems minor, to be honest, the minors are amazing. And we have the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, which is providing us with a near sensible trade with a confirmed climate, which is down. Okay, so let's go ahead, and out of everything we've got, I'm gonna only be looking at the 4-hour setup, load my minors, and I will click on Canadian dollar yen, which is my opportunity. Okay, so with the CAD yen, as you can see, we have a confirmed climate to the downside. We have one candle into climates that tend to last 5. Okay, so you know it's a nice beginning part of this trade. Now the average for this market, it's pointing at 81.57, and 81.57 we do have a UFO here, okay, which could be seen as valid. But I have to tell you that I'm gonna suggest not taking this trade. I'm uncomfortable with this trade, and the reason why it's because the distance between entry and stop, it's basically 2 pips, okay, and basically planning a trade where you are planning to ride a climate from a 4-hour time frame, which may take a few days to get to your target, and doing it by taking a risk of 2 pips. So even though that's what the chart is giving us, in the real world of trading Forex, given the fact that Forex is a decentralized market, then it's close to a utopia, and we cannot do that. Okay, it would not be a realistic trade to put in place, you know, given the decentralized nature of spot Forex. If that was futures, I'll do it, but being spot Forex is too narrow, you know, as a range. Okay. Yeah, I can see, Lisa, that I can see that TradeStation and TOS are both on the V. Okay, I can see that, but you know, the idea, okay, is that you switch to where the liquidity is when the liquidity is there, okay, which is now. So the Z is the right one. Platforms using continuous contracts, they will give you that opportunity tomorrow, because typically at the end of the day, this is when they will officially call the rollover date, and then tomorrow the symbol will be changed. But for us, we want to use it manually. Okay, so when that's the case, you just need to type the symbol without the at. So you would just type, like earlier, if I typed LHZ19, I would be good to go. Okay, for simplicity, and also to set targets which are further away, you know, I prefer to use the at. But this is that type of a day where when rollover is happening in some markets, you know, so you may need to type the contract specific symbol instead of using the at for continuous. Okay. Orlando, crude oil on a free fall. Okay, so yeah, and we can see that here with the 8-year spread being 3, meaning that we are 3 8-years away from the average. Okay, so yeah, certainly it's interesting, but we are late to enter a trade. So we just need to wait for our retracement, and when that happens, we will be alerted. Okay, what you don't want to do is to chase. Okay, chasing is not a good idea. So what did we have? So the yen, the Canadian dollar yen is not giving us a trade, but the Aussie Swiss franc may be giving us a trade. Okay. Also, 2 minutes ago we had an update on the 15-minute time frame, so I want to take a look at gold and also look again at the S&P, because we may have a trade. Okay. So NASDAQ is moving up very, very strongly. The yen. I mean, the setup is still valid. Okay, the setup is certainly still valid, so we'll leave it there. I want to open the S&P and gold. So S&P and gold, those are 2 setups that we need to explore, given what the red screen is cheating us. And once I'm done with those setups, with those 2 setups, then what I'll do is I'll go back to Spot Forex to check on that Australian dollar Swiss franc that seems to be an opportunity. Okay, so loading S&P and gold. And again, when I'm streaming, my computer gets a little slow, guys, so I appreciate your patience while I'm putting this in place. Okay, so what do we have here? So we'll begin with gold. Gold is in the Z, and I got the S&P here as well. Okay, good, perfect. So let's go for it. Let's begin with gold. Okay, so gold, we got 1 red dot. So beginning of the climate, I love this. Okay, this is normally when you get the best trades. Okay. Average 1509.7 which coincides perfectly with this UFO. Okay, coincides perfectly with this UFO. So my friends, we have a trade. Okay, so let's go ahead and set the target for gold. Okay, this is the beauty of using auto climate. You really need very little time to plan your trades when you combine it with AutoUFOs, isn't it? So 1497, that would be the target. Okay, that would be the target to collect those profits. Notice I'm using the 60-minute time frame. Okay, so that would be the target. Okay, and therefore let's plan on executing this trade at 09.7, which is right here. Okay, I'm just gonna click to have my entry in place. Stop would be 10.4. Okay, so my station is moving very slow. So 10.4, here we go. Okay, that will be my stop. So 10.4 to 07, that is 7. So that's gonna make my safety target to be 0, 0. Okay, and I have a flashing alert for natural gas as well. And then final target, we said it's going to be final target. It's going to be 1497. So I'm just going to scroll a little more. Okay, almost there. We got it. Okay, here we go. So that's the trade. Have I done a little mistake there with my entry? Yeah, I think so. The entry should be 05. The entry should be 05. So let me go back to 1509. My entry should be 05. I don't want to miss the entry by 2 ticks. Stop is going to be 04. Okay.
Order filled.
Good. That's it. We just got filled on gold. Okay. So let's see if the trade will work well. Okay. We are now in a time stop management mode. Okay. So zooming in. Okay. In the 2-minute time frame chart of gold. Okay, and let's see if we can have a little push to the downside, having the impact of those on-field orders kicking in, additional on-field orders, attracted by that moving average, and of course, overall having that down climate on gold. All of this together, it's giving us a certain level of edge for a push down and reach that safety target and be out of risk in this trade, and then, let the trade happen. Okay, so let's see if we can enjoy that move. If not, we'll be watching the chart on the left to do our time stop type of execution. Okay, so what else did I wanted to see? Let me see. Okay, let me see your questions. Hendra, Jose, an hour ago, I've got a setup on the euro US dollar. And I could see that. I could totally understand that. My point is that I want to plan trades that are likely to get filled quickly, and it's looking like the euro now is far from the average. That's why I was focusing on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, the Australian dollar, Swiss franc, because those are closer to an entry. And in this session, I want to give you trades that hopefully get filled soon. Still, sometimes what happened to us in the yen happens, which is, it was very close to the entry and then it moved away. Okay, where's the yen, by the way, at the moment in time? So the yen is still, away from the entry. So anyway, so let me again quick look at gold to check on the time stop maintenance. My trade station is running very slow today. Okay, so we have 1, 2, we are in the 3rd candle as we speak. So you can see here the little hand.
Order filled.
Okay, well, today is the day, isn't it? So we just hit our stop here on gold. Okay, so this trade didn't work out, and that's it. Okay, so we'll take a look at that later. S&P, what is the S&P providing us with? So we are around the average, but there is no green UFO, so no trade. Okay, and I believe I said earlier that natural gas may be giving us a setup. You can see it here. So let's go for it. Okay, so let's go for it. I am going to load the natural gas workspace so we can look at a potential setup with natural gas. Okay, I want to check again on the volumes. Come on. Contract specifications. Energies. It's so many contracts that in one hand, at least that's me, we are all obviously different, but in one hand I always have this temptation to use my memory. In the other hand, time has taught me to always double check, because sometimes you make a mistake and that always costs you money. So natural gas, I want to check the volumes. So XGV is what the website is showing us, but again, I want to check the volume as well to make sure the website is fully updated, which, as you see, or you saw earlier on the S&P, it was not the case. Okay, so I'm not sure why I have a pretty major slowdown at this moment in time. Yeah, so the V, clearly the V is the one. Okay, we can see that very clearly. Okay, so that's it, we know it. So I'm just gonna go back to TradeStation now. Okay, so TradeStation, and we have the V. Okay, so we're good to go. So down climate, we don't have any red UFO though, so we cannot do any trade at the moment in time with this market. Okay, we cannot do any trade at this time with that market. Okay, and with the S&P, do we have anything new that formed? No, it hasn't. And with the yen, we are still moving on our way towards that entry. Okay, so look, I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to the world of spot forex to check on that Australian dollar Swiss franc trade to see if we can plan it. So at least before we leave the session, I can give you another trade. Okay, I'm just closing these workspaces that we will not need anymore. Good. So spot forex, what did we have? I believe the Aussie Swiss franc was flashing earlier. Well, it's not flashing now, which means that price has probably moved a little bit away. Where is the Aussie Swiss franc? Right here. Yeah, we're at 0.53, so it's very close to 0.5, which is my alert triggering value. So I'm still gonna look at it, okay, because we are quite close. That would be a trade with a 4-hour time frame. So Aussie Swiss franc. So here's where we are. So confirm climate, okay, average being 6804, and we have a UFO a little below that. So the UFO unfortunately is below. But what if we look at this one here? So this one here has it at 11.09, and we are looking at 04. Okay, so yeah, we don't have UFOs that are lining up with the average, and therefore we have no valid trade to execute. And we just have a little flash, a little hello coming from Australian dollar with a sensible 3 candles into the climate. So let's go ahead and look at that one. And I believe this is probably the last chart that we will look at together today. And we will conclude the session. Okay, so 3 candles into the climate, we are hitting the average. Okay, and yeah, no red UFO as we speak on the 21-minute time frame, no red UFO on the 21 range time frame either. Okay, so even though the climate and everything is in place, we are missing the UFO, and therefore we don't have all the components that we need to be able to plan the trade. Okay, so last one, well, the NASDAQ is also flashing here. That was not before. So let's go ahead and give a last opportunity to the equities before we conclude the session. Okay, so NASDAQ is here. Yeah, thank you so much, Bojan, and also Orlando. I see you have you had to go, and I'm reading your answer as well as we speak. So, yeah, I believe that probably you don't hear me anymore. So what do we have? NASDAQ was giving also an alert of an up climate. Unfortunately, at 75, 78, 76, we don't seem to have any green UFO at this moment in time. So yeah, no trade. And if you think about it, and this sometimes happens. Okay, I mean, let's put a box in here, right? And for a few hours, because this is now a 15-minute time frame, isn't it? So from 6:30 to 9:30, let's call it 3 hours, the NASDAQ has been moving in a range of 20 points, which is absolutely nothing. Okay, so these type of market conditions are the toughest ones, guys. Okay, these type of market conditions are the toughest ones, and when we have those conditions, so the market makes you feel like it's a little bit of teasing you. Okay, but what's important is that you follow your rules, guys. Okay, it's this is the times where you need to remain disciplined, not to get upset or allow your emotions to take over and switch your mindset from discipline trading mode to revenge trading mode or things like that, or I want to make my money back trading mode. All these kind of dangerous type of mindsets, which could be very easy for you to feel the temptation, isn't it? Because we are human. But again, it's super important that you have rules in place on how to keep yourself calm. Okay. So anyway, I believe that's it for today. Not a magic day, unfortunately, but anyway, I think that still hopefully a good application of using the tools that we have to trade. We had to move quite quickly at the beginning part of the session, so hopefully you were following me, and if not, and I took you a little bit outside your comfort zone, you know what, that's good too, because that spices up your skill and gets you a little sharper for the next time. Okay, so hopefully it went well for you guys, and I will see you again on Thursday for the longer term trading session. Okay, and keep an eye on this trade on the yen, because we just got an update on the 60-minute time frame. We still got a red dot. The average is still 0.1. If this market goes up by a little bit, the average would become like 0.2 or something, and our entry is 0.2. So in other words, the trade that we have with the yen is still valid. Okay, it's still valid, and it would be your job to execute it the way we plan it together, if you choose to take it, of course. So anyway, guys, see you on Thursday. Again, looking at just in case there is anything additional I can give you before we go, so you have more material to practice, pick up skill, and also to make some money out there. Anyway, I don't see anything else that meet our rules right now. The session needs to be concluded, so I will see you on Thursday, everyone. You guys take care. Bye-bye.